Deborah Strayhorn, and I'd like to share two pieces, one for adults and the other for children. My first selection is taken from HerStories, The Women of Southview Cemetery. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in time plays many parts. That's taken from William Shakespeare's play, As You Like It, Act 2, Scene 7. My name is Adrienne McNeil Herndon, and in my time, I too desired to play many roles. As a child, I wanted to play all the feminine, heroic characters of Shakespeare. How dare I have such ambitions? I was just a little colored girl from Savannah. My mother, Martha, was a domestic servant, unwed, and just 3 years freed from slavery when I was born in 1869. Archibald McNeil married my mother and gave me his last name, and his butcher shop afforded us all the basic necessities of life. As a young child, I won high honors in school for my work in elocution. But my mother bemoaned the fact that I was not born a male, saying, "Had you been born a boy, you could have made this family proud." Well, despite my mother's lack of support, when I left home to attend school at Atlanta University, I had high goals for myself. And though no woman of my race had achieved this, it was simply inevitable that I would end up on stage. But, like most young women of my race, no matter what we dreamed of becoming, I trained as a teacher. And for the next 3 years, I worked at the Gray Street Public School, doing my best to teach the little ones their ABCs. Although I still dreamed of being on the stage. And then, I met Alonzo Herndon, and my world and my prospects in it broadened considerably. You see, Alonzo Herndon was afforded a certain graciousness and style of living in society, and that combined with his success and that handsome face and manners made me the envy of all the women when he asked me to be his bride. My next selection is entitled Scat the Cat. It's storytelling time. It's storytelling time. I'm so glad you're here to hear some stories. Once upon a time, there was a cat, and his name was Scat. Well, as you can see, Scat is black. Well, one day, he was sitting around looking at all his family and friends, and everybody looked just like him. Well, Scat didn't want to be like everybody else. He wanted to be different. So he thought for a moment, and he said, I know. I'm Scat the cat. I'm sassy and fat, and I can change my colors just like that. And before you know it, Scat was no longer black. Scat was red, just like a big juicy apple. Well, when all of his friends saw him, they started to laugh. There's no such thing as a red cat. Well, Scat's feelings were hurt, and he didn't want to be red anymore. So he said, I'm Scat the cat, I'm sassy and fat, and I can change my colors just like that. And Scat went from being red to being yellow, just like the sun, but also like his cousin Leo the lion. So Leo said, I'm the king of the jungle, and nobody is supposed to be yellow but me. Oh! Well, Scat was scared. He didn't want to be yellow anymore, and he certainly didn't want to be red, because he didn't want to be laughed at. So once more he said, I'm Scat the cat. I'm sassy and fat, and I can change my colors just like that. And Scat decided to go back to being black and to love himself just the way he was. And that is the story of Scat.